In 3 John, beginning with verse 5, John makes a statement to the beloved Gaius there that I think impresses on us the importance of unity. And if there are those, as he says in this same letter about the divisive Diotrephes, as he's writing to the beloved Gaius, he says, beginning in verse 5, "Beloved, you do faithfully whatever you do for the brethren and for strangers, who have borne witness of your love before the church. If you send them forward on their journey in all manner worthy of God, you will do well, because they went forth for His name's sake, taking nothing from the Gentiles. We therefore ought to receive such, that we may become fellow workers for the truth." And so he's commending Gaius, who was someone who received faithful brethren and aided faithful brethren as they went about doing their work for the cause of Christ. And in doing that, in that expression of unity, in that expression of fellowship, he was a fellow worker with those who were going and evangelizing for Christ, who were serving the cause of Christ. John says that he was a fellow worker for the truth with them, that we may become fellow workers for the truth, he says. And then he goes on to talk about Diotrephes, who withstood those who were working for the cause of Christ. He says, "I wrote to the church, but Diotrephes, who loves to have the preeminence among them, does not receive us." So notice the contrast there. The beloved Gaius was a fellow worker for the truth, in unity with those who were serving the cause of Christ. But it was divisive Diotrephes that was causing divisions, causing disruptions in the work of the gospel. And we have looked at that passage over in Ephesians chapter 4, beginning with verse 15, many times, and seen what the Apostle Paul says there when he says, "But speaking the truth in love may grow up in all things into Him who is the head, Christ." And so, referring to the body as growing and being united, he says, "From whom the whole body, joined and knit together by what every joint supplies." So that's the challenge that Caleb was making to his people. He's saying, let us go up and take it. We are well able to take it. We've got to be united in this. Just like every local congregation and the faithful of God's church all over the world have to be united in the cause of Christ. And when we're united in doing our part in the body, we are well able to do the work that God gave us to do. Just like Caleb told the children of Israel, we're well able to take it. If we come together and we're united and we're faithful to God's promise, we're well able to do whatever God commanded us to do. God didn't command us to do anything that we're not able to do. God didn't command the children of Israel to go up and take the land of Canaan knowing that they weren't able to do it. God doesn't command us to do things. He didn't command us to evangelize our community for Christ, to spread the gospel. He didn't command us to seek and save the lost, knowing that we're not able to do it. No, He commanded us to do that, knowing that we are well able to do that. If what? If we're united in that effort. As he says there, "From whom the whole body, joined and knit together by what every joint supplies, according to the effective working by which every part does its share, causes growth of the body for the edifying of itself in love. Now that's a challenge, isn't it? Just like Caleb issued that challenge that required unity amongst his people. That challenge is for us. And that challenge requires unity amongst us so that every part is doing its share. We talked about that this morning in the Bible class. And asked that question, is evangelism a salvation issue? Is it possible? Can we be lost because we are a joint in the body not doing our share, not serving our part? And that's why we went over to Gaius. You know, he didn't refer to the beloved Gaius as one who was going out and teaching the gospel. Like we noticed this morning about Thessalonica, that they were a sounding board for the gospel. That's not what he said about Gaius. What did he say about Gaius that showed him to be a united fellow worker for the truth? That he received those who were doing that. He received those who were serving Christ, who were working for the truth. He received them, he provided for them, he helped them in their work, he aided them in their work, and so he was a fellow laborer with them. Well, he was doing his part. It's not all of our part to do everything. We each have different things that we're able to do, and if we're united like a body, you know, my hands aren't suited to do the work of my feet. And so I have to let my feet do the work that they're suited for, which that's getting more and more difficult, it seems like. And let my hands do the work that they're suited for. Let my mouth do the work it's suited for, and my eyes do the work it's suited for. See, I can't expect my elbows to do the work of my eyes. But I should expect my elbows to function the way that they're supposed to function. If they're not, I need to go to the doctor and get it checked out and get it fixed. And the church is likened to a body that is a single organism with different functioning parts. And when we're united in our different functioning parts, as Joshua said there, let us go up and take it, for we are well able. Do you think Joshua understood or believed that every single person of the children of Israel was going to be out there swinging swords defeating the enemy? Or do you think Joshua understood that while the soldiers were out swinging the swords defeating the enemy, that there was going to be support back in the camp to provide for them their food, provide for them their equipment, provide for them the various necessities that they needed in waging the war? Well, of course. All the children of Israel didn't have the same function to go out and fight. The whole tribe of Levi was not fighters. They served their purpose in the body of Israel, and it wasn't as fighters. And so we have the same thing in the church. We all don't function the same way, but we all do have a function, and we all have to be serving that function. It's a challenge requiring unity. The challenge of conquering this land for the cause of Christ requires unity.